I see that one Irish bishop, Bishop Fonsie, has stuck his head above the synodal swamp to voice an opinion that I voiced the very first day. The fact that the basic things of our Catholic faith are completely absent from the synthesis document that the synodal vague heresy process has put together. And it is a heresy process. There's no other way around it. People can criticize me all I like. I've nothing to lose. The very fact that abortion wasn't even mentioned or discussed in the synodal process, that 18,000, the very fact that there is nothing there to address the 18,000 men, 18,000 women in Ireland who have gone through that process, the very fact that wasn't even mentioned or discussed goes to show you how far we have fallen as Catholic faithful in Ireland. What I see in prayer, the vision I get in prayer, are bishops marching up to Christ crucified and throwing his body to one side and cutting down that cross and burning it. That's how powerful the discarded body of Christ and the burning cross. Because they cannot see that their mission is to follow Christ in suffering. They cannot see that. I don't know why. Christ redeemed the world in suffering. His apostles preached the gospel in the midst of great suffering and great trials. Even St. John. This is the sad reality, that we think that we can have our cake and eat it. We can have redemption and be popular to the world, when that has never been the case in 2,000 years, sadly. Our message is different, and it will always be different. We just saw Bishop Paglia in Italy. This is the famous bishop that spent more time getting himself painted into a mural naked than defending his office as bishop. The abortion law in Italy is a pillar of society now. And then he had to backtrack. Well, it's a pillar because it's there for so long, it's a pillar. And people can criticize him for good or bad choice of words. I mean, how can you say that millions and millions and millions of deaths is a pillar of society? It's the destruction of society. He could easily have said the abortion law enacted in the late 1970s in Italy, it has been the destruction of Italian society. I mean, where are the children? Where are the children? Bishops have completely lost it. I shudder, and sometimes I wonder, am I mad? But I shudder. If Christ is speaking to me, appearing to me, showing me his crucifixion, showing me his suffering body, if he is doing this to me, what is coming for the church? What is coming? I'm no bishop, I'm no priest. He shouldn't be doing this with me. It makes no sense to me. But I'll get the message out. As, through my brokenness and through my sin and through my, fight for the faith. I'll do what Christ tells me to do. I'll simply do it. And I'll work in the church and I'll listen in the church. I'll listen to his voice in the church. But guys, there's something seriously wrong when one bishop puts his head above the synodal swamp to voice a timid opinion. Well, where are the rest of the bishops in Ireland? I'm not surprised, because when this whole process kicked off in Ballina in 2018, we were explicitly told, oh, no, we don't talk about abortion. That's not part of this process. We don't talk about that because in reality, we have no faith. So we're not going to teach or preach or talk about the faith. We're going to talk about everything else, but what is the faith? What is the faith? Why did Christ die on the cross? He didn't die for equality. He didn't die for an alphabet cause. He died to bring us to heaven, to save our souls. That is it. That is the only reason that the Catholic Church has existed. If you look at the last phrase in canon law, states suprema lex, the supreme law is suprema lex animus, is the salvation of souls. I'm getting a blank on this Latin phrase, but that's the phrase. The supreme law of the church is the salvation of souls. That is it. That really is it. to save as many souls as possible. How do we do this? Through the sacraments, through grace, reading the gospel, living the gospel. There wouldn't be poverty in this world if we were Catholics. Think about it. There wouldn't be suffering in this world if we were Catholics. There wouldn't be abortion in this world if we spoke and taught the faith. People would know the beauty of the encounter with Christ. You know, it's simply impossible. It's simply impossible to meet Christ face to face, person to person, man to man, to look in his eyes, to see his wounds, to see his body, to see his expression, his voice, everything. That is the person of Christ, and not be completely captivated by that message. I often wonder, Christ, could you just tell me what you want me to do? And he said, no, you have to listen in my church. What is Christ's church? What has he been doing for 2,000 years? Who has he spoken to? Who are the saints of this church? It's all there. He doesn't need to regurgitate a message to me. It's all there. He doesn't need to give anything new to me. The church is a church. His message is his message. The gospel is the gospel. He has spoken already plenty of times. And we refuse to listen time and time and time again. What is coming for this world and for Ireland, you are not prepared for. You simply are not prepared for what is going to come. And when it does come, you'll remember my words and you'll probably cry. What if only we had done this? If only we had done that. When it's too late, it's too late. Get your lives in order before then. You know, if you're not willing to stand for Christ at the foot of the cross and touch his body and suffer with him, just leave. Don't be a bishop or a priest if you're not willing to do that. It's pointless. You're just a paid lackey for Satan, to be honest, if you're not able to teach the faith. The supreme law of the church is the salvation of souls. End of story. Case closed. Stop pussyfooting around the issues. You're trying to please the world and destroying the gospel. Simple as. I don't know what has gone on in the minds and hearts of bishops around Ireland. You know, that synodal document, at the very, very end, there was those paragraphs, what is missing? And you had an opportunity to fill in the blanks there of what was missing from that document. And nobody took the opportunity to fill in the blanks because you don't care. You don't care about the faith. You don't care. It's irrelevant to you. I live beside a bishop, and I'm loath to criticize people personally. I live beside a bishop. I see what's going on. I saw what went on in this diocese. You know, if you cannot preach the faith among yourselves as priests and bishops, how do you think you will preach it to laity? If you don't love the faith, if you have no hunger for the faith, if you haven't gone to the stage of being in that unitive state of prayer with Christ, to have given your life to him, to have stepped forth beyond your own insecurities. If you're not able to go there, how can you give something you don't know? And you don't know it. There's bishops that do not know the faith because they're not preaching and they're not living it. I was in Tuam yesterday. I went into the cathedral to pray the rosary, and I look at the destruction of the high altar, the sanctuary. I said, okay, so they've spent millions, or God knows how much, thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't know, around Ireland. No, it's millions. It's in the millions. If you look at all the sanctuaries that were destroyed, putting up there, this modern cross, the stained glass windows, the high altar, everything. Hasn't done one single thing to renew the faith in Ireland. Not a single thing has all this investment that we've put into making our worship man-centered, hasn't done a single thing to renew the faith in Ireland. We know this. The day we started destroying our altars in Ireland that generations had paid for previously, that first time, we destroyed grace in Ireland, the day we destroyed altars. And men will talk to me, and many friends will talk to me about what went on in Longford, the destruction of that cathedral. and the omen, the prophecy that was made to Cathal Daly. And it happened before he died. And yet people don't want to see that. You destroy Christ. You destroy the direction we should be walking. You lead souls astray. You will have to answer. No, this is extremely serious. I shudder. I shudder at what's going on. I don't know what's going to come. I shudder. But we need to pray and we need to call it out. Where are the rest of the bishops? Come on, man up. Be men of faith. Stop pussyfooting around the things that you don't want to talk about. You either preach the faith or just go away. Leave us. And let's have real men that will stand up for the faith. And save souls. Bring souls to grace. You cannot live. You cannot have a foot in both camps. You cannot have it. You cannot dialogue with the devil. You cannot do it. You have to stand for what Christ's message is. Anyway, God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.